Hey, I'm Dustin.
And I'm Steve. Welcome back to the Wedding Photo Hangover podcast, the finest phototainment in the world. We are an irreverent look at photography. This podcast, like aspirin, will help you recover from your wedding hangover. Dustin, D-Mac. Oh my gosh, it has been so long since we recorded together.
It has been like a month.
So long. Basically, as you said right before we jumped on this, we went to imaging together, and then we just haven't talked since then.
Yeah, pretty much. Because you were traveling all over the world and shooting celebrity weddings.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Tokyo? Was it Tokyo?
Yeah, I had to shoot my boys. Brad Pitt's, Matthew McConaughey, Matt Damon, all my boys. Ben Affleck. Casey Affleck.
It was like an episode of Ocean's 11.
Adrian Grenier.
People are calling your new photography studio Ocean's 11, I think is what they're calling it.
Yeah. No, I mean, just one wedding in California. I see you put in the show notes that I shot 2 weddings in California.
Well, it was like you were shooting something, and then I saw Jen post, they're like, hey, we're getting up to shoot a wedding, and I was like, wait, I thought you shot a wedding yesterday, and I was like, are they shooting 2 weddings?
No, dude.
So I didn't know if you guys maybe shot the rehearsal, or
we showed up to
scouting
the rehearsal, and just to meet like the parents and everything, get on good terms with everyone. It's mostly a Jen thing to do that kind of stuff. Me, I would have like just stayed at Joshua Tree with Ulysses all day, just rolling.
Isn't that place sick? Like climbing those rocks?
Yeah. Yeah, except I was the only one who would climb the rocks because like Jen and Maria were like dressed in like clothes not for climbing, and Ulysses would only go like halfway up. I was
Chicken shit.
I was like, come all the way up with me, Ulysses, and he's like, nah, dog. That's how Ulysses talks too. He says nah, dog all the time. It's so weird.
Next time I've got to go with you guys because, as Steven knows, I am fearless.
Oh yeah, that's what they call you, Fearless Dustin.
That's right. I got good life insurance.
Yeah, Fearless
Fustin. My life
Fustin.
insurance agent isn't listening. And speaking of Fearless, we're actually doing a bridal show this weekend.
Oh, how'd that go?
Well,
and by this weekend, you mean like 2 weekends ago? 3 weekends ago?
No, we have one coming up. We have one. We did one. We're not counting that. That was like an awful. We talked to like 2 brides.
Okay. Well, I think what I'm feeling needs to go on here. It's been like a month since we talked. A month since like the listeners of our podcast got like an update on Dustin's life. So, D-Mac, what happened? You got in to shoot a bridal show for free. Didn't even have to pay for the booth. Give us the deets.
Correct. I did a bridal show for free. Real last minute. Actually, Steve was with me when they called, and they were like, "Hey, Dustin, you're going to make our bridal show legit. We want to attract brides. We need your name on this thing." I said,
bullshit.
I know. What am I going to do? How can I say no to that?
Yeah. How could you say no to a load of bullshit you just made up?
And like most things in my life, I can't half-ass them. So Lily's our like studio manager. She built these beautiful walls.
So is it you who couldn't half-ass it, or is it your studio manager who couldn't half-ass it?
Our company.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Was it your studio manager's dad who felt bad for her that you tasked her with building the walls who couldn't half-ass it? Because I feel like that's the story I heard.
Owns a home renovation company. So for him to build these walls, it was like, me playing with a yo-yo.
Do you play with yo-yos a lot? Are you a world champion yo-yoist?
Semi-pro.
Yeah.
Semi-pro. I lost in the quarter semis. Anyways.
What was your yo-yo name on the streets? On the mean streets, the yo-yo streets, what they call you?
Yo-yo Mickey.
Really? That's where you went, yo-yo Mickey?
Mick Kibben. Yo-yo Mickey.
I love it.
I watch a lot of Ray Donovan. Anyways, that's a reference you won't understand, Steve, because you don't watch Ray Donovan.
Don't watch Ray Donovan. That is correct.
But yeah, so I did this bridal show, and I got into the groove, and I was like, I forgot how much I miss bridal shows other than standing on my feet for 5 hours talking to aimless strangers. Other than that, I loved it. And so we had all the material, we had all the photos, everything printed for that show, that I decided to go ahead and sign up to do another bridal show. And then I realized my wife had scheduled my son's birthday party the same day that I booked this bridal show.
So you canceled your son's birthday party?
Almost. So I decided this was a good opportunity to give myself a kick in the ass to get our associate brand rolling. So we're actually going to debut the associate brand at the bridal show.
So you're not going to be there?
I'm not going to be there. I'm going to go there and set everything up and then hand over the baton to my amazing associates and walk away.
More than one associate now?
Yeah, we've had two.
What's the name of this associate brand?
Union Chapel Photo.
That doesn't feel like soup's weird to you, because there's like a million churches out there called Union Chapel. You didn't think to yourself, maybe this makes me sound like I'm aligned with a certain church, a church that there's like a million of throughout the United States of America?
Nope.
Nothing there for you.
No, I thought I live near a road called Union Chapel, and everything along that road is called Union Chapel something or other.
Is it maybe because there's a church on the road called Union Chapel, like a historical church or something? I don't know.
No.
Could it be that most cities and towns in Indiana seem to have some sort of church called Union Chapel in them at some place, like Selma Union Chapel, Muncie Union Chapel, Fort Wayne Union Chapel, Wabash Union Chapel, all these different like little places.
Now we have a Union Chapel photography.
You're not concerned at all with the ethics of basically picking a church name for your company name?
I don't know. I'm really bad with names, as you can tell by my video company name, Big Burrito Creative. Or I'm really great at names, depending on how you look at that side of that coin.
I mean, if you want to con people into a religious experience with their photography, you'd pick the right name.
We are based in Northeast Indiana. So
you didn't want to call your photography business something like United Methodist Photography?
I didn't know. I don't think Union Chapel is a denomination.
Did you think about calling it like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Photographers?
Latter-day Saintographers. But so far, all of my market testing has showed positive results on the naming.
For Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saintographers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Book of Mormontographers was already taken.
That would have been a good one.
But no, I think we'll see. I'm optimistic about the bridal show. I'm not done one personally, like of this size, in about 6 years. So we shall see how it goes.
And you're also not doing this one. Just to be clear, you haven't done one of this size in like 6 years. You're also not doing this one.
I have not participated in it. I feel a part of it because
Still
my money
not
is
participating.
paying for it. And it's a lot of my money because I go all in on these kind of things.
Well, I hope that the Church of Photology will be well represented there.
Like we're building out an ivy wall for one section of our backdrop. That'll be what I'm doing tomorrow. So that'll be real fun, real interesting.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds like a blast.
So much.
Mm-hmm. Blast off.
Blasty blast.
Is that what we're doing now? Blasty blast?
So how was California, though? You didn't really tell me about
You
it.
want to talk about
The
California?
wedding. I don't really care about Ulysses. I just want to hear about the wedding. I'm still bitter that you cheated on me with Ulysses. But
Whoa, buddy. Are you harshing on my vibe? You harshing on Ulysses and I's vibe?
I mean, he was sending me pictures of the two of you all week.
We're out there. We're vibing, That's cool. No, California was awesome. Got to spend some time with Ulysses. He does the Wedding Photo Podcast. For those of you who don't know, it's a great podcast about wedding photography. Also got to hang out with Alex Bruce, one of our listeners, while we were out there. Met him at a Belgian beer bar / sausage bar. This is Sausage Fest. Is fantastic.
I know how you love your Sausage Fest.
Yeah. So that was a great time. Also got to hang out with my
Were there any
friend.
sword fights? Sword fights at the Sausage Fest?
Nope, no sword fights.
Gotcha. That's always disappointing.
Yeah. Also got to spend some time with my friend Kyle, who does the LOLJK podcast, which is like a comedy podcast where they discuss weird, gross stuff, and it's very funny. So it was a good trip, man. It was a great trip. On our way out there, Jen was like concerned because we wanted to hang out with one of our friends who we like went to college with, but she was unable to hang out because like her boyfriend was coming into town. It was like a huge bummer, you know? And then at the airport on our way out there, I was like walking to get something and I just see her like walking through the airport and we had no idea she was in Indy. We thought she was in Chicago and flying back to California from there. So it's like a good trip, man. Like there were like random occurrences and meetups and like, you know, just all sorts of good stuff. Plus the wedding we shot was really cool too.
So did this wedding get you another California wedding? Like, I feel like you are Mr. California now.
That would be so cool, but I don't think that's how it works, man.
What is this, year 3 in a row with a California wedding?
No, man, last year was just an engagement sesh, you know? I would love to be in the LA area more. I really like that area.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
I prefer the area around Ulysses.
Jen and I went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I went to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I saw. We're not going to talk about it.
Star Wars.
Not going to talk about
Star Wars all over the place.
Yeah,
it's so good. It's
they had
so
to close
good.
it down the next day.
Yeah, they did.
They're like, yeah, we got Van Elked all over this place.
They were scraping the Van Elk off the ceilings. It's gross.
They're like, we had to get the biggest thing of Costco bleach we could find. It was not a wonderful place. Mickey got the day off. That's what I heard.
Not Chewbacca or Baby Yoda. They still had to come in and work.
They had to earn their keep.
They were the ones scraping the Van Elk off the walls.
So many connotations there.
Yeah,
what
I was
are
like
you
a
drinking
kid
tonight,
in a
Steve?
candy store. It was like almost as good as being at Harry Potter World, you know, the Wizarding World. Almost
I have
as
to
good.
imagine it's better than that.
Have you been to the
You're
Wizarding
saying
World?
Harry Potter World? Yeah.
Have you been to that?
I've been.
So I'm a bigger Star Wars fan than I am a Harry Potter fan. That much is true. Wizarding World of Harry Potter, though, soup's cool. Soup's cool, bro. They have they got the butterbeer. The butterbeer is good. They got the specialty beers made for the Wizarding World. Star Wars didn't have any of that. All they had was blue milk that wasn't even milk.
It was from Chewbacca.
No, it's from the
Chewbacca
six-titted beast or four-titted beast that Luke was milking.
So wait, they don't. I guess it's Disney. They're not all about the alcohol.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it would be if I went to Disney World.
That, like hard lemonade.
So Disney World, you can get alcohol in all the parks except Magic Kingdom. The only place you can get alcohol is if you go to like a sit-down restaurant. I don't know what the rules are at Disneyland. I just know that I didn't see any alcohol except for at the like sit-down restaurants. And it was like a specialty event that we were at. It was like Sweethearts Night or something for the Disney After Dark series that they do every year. So.
Disney After Dark.
Yeah, dude, it sounds so nasty, right? Now you know why they're
Come here and Van Elk all over the place.
Ripping the Van Elk off everything. Jeez. Oh, man. Woo. Yeah, no, it's cool.
Woo-wee. Now that we lost all new listeners. Steve, what are you drinking tonight?
Tonight I am drinking a Sufferfest Head Start. It's a stout brewed with coconut water and added coffee.
Ooh, coconut water. That sounds like almost like a California beer.
I found it here in Indiana. I don't know where they brew it. No, it's good. It's got a good coffee taste to it. A very nice flavor. It's a smooth stout. Real smooth.
So what does coconut water do for a beer?
Shit if I know.
Of course. The most beer-centric person I know knows nothing about beer.
I'm guessing the coconut water is why it has more of like a sweet flavor, more like a smooth like sort of thing to it. But
Smooth
I've had
jazz.
sweet beers before that had no coconut water, so I don't really know. This beer does taste pretty fresh, though. I'll say that. So
Interesting.
it's like a fresh stout, which are two words I never thought I would string together in the beer world.
Yeah, I am not drinking a beer tonight because I am super sick. And but I did have the distinct privilege of photographing at a brewery today for a local brewery. And the first thing I thought of when I went into this brewery was like, God, I would love to bring Steven here. This place is so cool. And then I started seeing what kind of beers they had. And I was like, oh, man, even more reason to bring Steven here because he will hate all of these beers. And I would love all of them.
Was it like all sours?
Not necessarily all sours. It was just all like very experimental type combinations, like peach beers and like fruit infused things. And they had they did have a peanut butter beer,
Yeah.
things like that. And I'm like, Steven doesn't like it when you play God with beer.
Peanut butter beer can be nice, just not for me. Not for me,
What?
bro.
But of course the guy's like, yeah, do you want anything? And I'm like sitting here like barely able to breathe trying to take these photos. And I'm like, as much as I'd like to, I don't want it to mess with my cold medicine. It's the only thing keeping me alive.
Sorry, buddy. That sounds rough.
Yeah, but it was fun. I always like shooting for breweries because I always feel like this would be something better suited for Steven and Jen. But here I am. Somehow the universe keeps bringing me back.
You know, just refer that out. I'll come up to Fort Wayne to shoot it, spend the day with you.
As long as I'm the one that gets paid, I'm totally fine with that.
I mean, if you paid me to come shoot it for you, that'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you keep a cut, and I still get to shoot it at a brewery. That's all good.
Yeah, I was trying to get a gift card out of him for next time I came. So that way, since I was like not taking advantage of his free generosity during the shoot, I was like, yeah, but if you want to give me something, I'll come back. I didn't say it like that, obviously. I wasn't like a needy little beggar boy.
No. I was with you at Imogene. I know you can be a needy little beggar boy.
They called me Timmy.
Oh, Dustin, I see for once in the entire history of our podcast, you've actually added things to our show notes for the episode. So, Dustin, you wanna talk about some stuff?
Do we need to thank anyone? I feel like it's been a while. We haven't recorded.
We do. Yes. We need to thank listener Gorang Bat. He has joined the Patreon at the $5 tier. So every single week he gets new episodes of Stephen Dustin Save the World.
He gets a little bit of that ear candy.
Yeah.
A little bit of those gems floating through his earphones.
So he joined, and like a week later he was like, I am entirely caught up on the Patreon content. Totally worth it. I was like, thanks, dude. Like, that's real nice to hear. He's a good,
and then you're
he's
like,
a good
go
guy.
up to the $10 month and you can get secret episodes.
Nope. I'm not putting more work into it. Are you doing these secret episodes?
Yeah, I am. That's why they're so secret. Even you haven't subscribed, Steven, at the $10 a month.
Dustin.
Only for the top tier listeners.
So you want to talk about Gear Talk? You want to talk about this new Nikon D6?
Did you put this Gear Talk in the show notes, Steven?
You 100% know I did not.
I've just been having a lot of listeners message me asking me my thoughts on all this gear that's come out in the last few weeks. And since we haven't recorded a fresh take episode, I figured let's just cram it all in and boil it down to the nuts and bolts, if you know what I mean. Latest from the two major flagship cameras.
Nut? Which one's making you nut?
Van Elking. We call that Van Elking.
I'm okay with that.
So Nikon rolled out with the new Nikon D6, which is their flagship camera. It is their pro body, their beast of a camera, their $6,500 camera that they just came out with to replace the D5. or the D4 if you're like me and you still have that. And it's a little bit underwhelming to me personally. I had a lot of people reach out and say, "Oh, the D6 is out, Dustin. Do you wish you would have stayed with Nikon now?" And no, the answer is no. I saw nothing that I was like, wow. I mean, It's 4 megapixels more than what the D4 had. I don't even know what the specs are on the D5. And the ISO is supposed to be crazy, but all cameras have crazy good ISO anymore. I mean, it's like saying, oh, it's got night vision mode. That's might as well be what they say when they talk about ISO.
It's not even a camera lens. It's actually cat eyes.
Yeah. Secretly, there's a cat that lives inside it.
Actually, I would buy that camera in a heartbeat. That sounds really cool. Dude, can you think about how neopunk that would be to get cat eye lenses?
That would be not useful.
That would be so useful. Think how good it could see in the dark.
They built in GPS, which I don't know, for most photographers that's kind of useless if you're landscape travel.
Okay, I don't give a crap about any of this. Just say how you feel it would work for you if you wanted it, or why you don't want to use it.
It would be an overpriced piece
listen
of gear.
Stats.
I'm not
overpriced.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. My favorite part of the demo video that got released is it has built-in Wi-Fi, but then they also tell you that you can plug in their Wi-Fi thing on the side for better Wi-Fi, thus saying the built-in Wi-Fi is there, but it's not very good. So we recommend you using this other accessory that's like $150.
Wow,
I was like,
that's a really crappy thing to do, especially in your demo. Hey, we built in Wi-Fi. Undercut. It's not good. Yeah. Here's this other thing
it's not good. It's just like, but we still support this even better Wi-Fi accessory that we put out last year. I'm like, but I would think if you have built-in Wi-Fi, wouldn't need that. But by you telling me that, obviously I still need that because your built-in Wi-Fi is gonna suck.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really it. It's going to be 2 XQD card slots or 2 CFast card slots. They're getting rid of compact flash, which I think a lot of people are going to be bummed out about, but maybe not. I would be if I had a bunch of compact flash cards.
Wait, are you talking about Canon now or Nikon?
Nikon.
Okay.
Still Nikon. I don't think, do we need to talk about Canon? Did they put out anything impressive?
Not that I know of. So
okay, cool.
I feel like we can move on. We don't need to talk about the rumored EOS R5. Rumors confirmed, but we don't need to talk about that. Yeah.
Laundry list of wish list items that any Canon photographer ever wanted in a camera and got, according to these rumor confirmed situational photos of this EOS R5.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds.
You won't want
good.
this.
Sounds
this wouldn't be something you would Van Elk over.
I'm looking right now on Google and I'm seeing that the price listed for the Canon EOS R5 is 9,999 euros.
So that's what, a couple $100 US?
It's like $10,000 US. It's very similar price wise.
There's no way it can be 10. It's not going to be more than their 1DX series.
Yeah, I think it's a bogus thing. I think somebody just put that on somewhere.
Somebody's trying to get pre-orders going or something.
Maybe. 10,000 euros is 10,789.5 USD. That's right. Almost an $11,000 camera. There's no way that's true.
Yeah, and then once you convert into Trump dollars, it's like $500.
Like another $500 added on top because of tariffs?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're saying? Because I don't think his tariffs make things cost less.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, thanks for bringing politics into this episode. It's something everyone always loves to hear about. Dustin, let's it's been so long.
I want to know, is this the camera you're going to get?
No.
It's going to have 2 card slots,
8K
video, 12 frames per second, a new a new sensor.
Don't even know the
in-body
price.
image stabilization.
Don't even know the price.
We know it's going to be between $3,000 and $4,000.
Don't even know the price. So not
It's
really
going to
even
be the
worth
same
talking
as a
about.
5D Mark IV.
Mm-hmm. Let's do some Q&A.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh,
Oh my gracious.
Dustin, we got a lot of Q&A to catch up on. We basically took a month off, so let's do some Q&A.
But Steve.
Dustin, we're starting out here. Lynette from a random Facebook photography group says, if you were cheated on, do you stay or no way? What do you consider cheating? A debate I'm having with friends. ETA, nothing with me personally for those that know me. That was
What's
from a
ETA?
Edited to ad, though normal people see ETA and think estimated time of arrival.
Time of arrival.
Yeah, but there's like this new thing on Facebook and Reddit where when people edit their things, they're like ETA, and it's like that acronym already exists and has a very defined meaning. Pick something else. Oh gosh,
Yeah, that would really annoy me.
It annoys the hell out of me. So Dustin, this is posted in a photography group, so
yeah.
I thought it was
better
worth.
place can one get marital advice on than in a photography group. It is a group of sound individuals with great advice, I guess.
Yeah, no. So Dustin,
No.
what do you consider
Steve
cheating?
says no. What do you consider cheating?
Like, I consider cheating like when you own like a Nikon camera and then you have to like shoot video and like you get some Sony cameras and the next thing you know is like you're a Sony boy, you're a Sony pony, and
You're a Sony pony.
you're completely off the Nikons, you know? What do
we-
you think
can we
over
make
there,
that
my
a thing?
Sony pony?
Can we make that a thing where anyone who shoots Sony is now considered a Sony pony?
I don't know. You tell me, Sony pony.
You get new saddlebags for your Sony pony? How's that glass on your Sony pony over there?
No, I
Giddy up
like
there.
the saddlebags thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That could be, you know, your camera bag that fits with the pony stuff. Glass doesn't really fit with ponies that much.
I still like it. What do I consider cheating? Cheating is when you do a podcast with someone for about 4 years. They go off to California and they have an intimate relationship with the host of another podcast, also photography related. And
We call this an
post
emotional affair.
Intimate photos of that. I would say that's emotional cheating and spiritual in some regards.
Dustin, are you really upset about this?
Only if it makes Ulysses upset.
Ulysses is also a Sony pony. You know me, I'm a pony boy.
I think, from what I've heard, Ulysses is a Sony stallion.
Wow. Wow. It's going to make him so uncomfortable to listen. I'm going to have to send him this episode before we post it. Damn it. You've just made more work for me.
Oh, the ethicalness of our podcast, where Stephen cares what others think. Let's see. If you were, do we really need to go on?
Do you stay or no
marital-
way? Do you stay or no way? Don't. So your response to this question, which was asked in a prominent photography group with like 25,000 people in it, is just if you go on a Facebook group to ask for advice, maybe you're not mature enough to be in that relationship in the first place. Is that where you're going with this? What horrible thing did you want to say that would make everybody squeam and think, "Ugh, yuck"?
I was going to
Yuckus.
just say my sister was recently like almost cheated on. I don't know that the cheating ever happened, but it was in the progress of happening, and she caught it and left the relationship, and now she's gone from the relationship of 2 or 3 years, and she's thinking about going back. And I'm like, hells no.
Dustin, are you sure you can share this personal story on the podcast? This is your family.
And this is my podcast.
Is it?
Yeah, it's fine because she knows how I feel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here you were saying we can't do this podcast and make more enemies.
My family's fine. They're fine.
Jackie Jormp Jomp.
Jackie Jormp Jomp.
Oh, man. Oh, you're making me queasy. I thought we were going to have fun with this question, and then you had to make it real personal and serious. Now
You said, what are you going to say to make everyone queasy?
Yep. Yep. You did it to me. You did it to me.
Aldrich Mientz from our very own Facebook group sent in this question he found on a random Facebook group.
Oh, gosh.
Isn't doing Steven's job for him.
Can we just take a moment to thank Aldrich? Like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Somebody went and found some crazy stuff in a random Facebook group and sent it in to us. I mean, just,
Which we encourage. If you guys see crazy random shit out there, send it on in.
Yeah, the more stuff you send in, the better it is for me.
All right. In search of a photographer. This is something he found in a group. In search of a photographer, due to unforeseen circumstances, our wedding budget had to take a major hit. Since I'm a photographer, I have an odd request. Is there anyone in here around... Can I say the city? Is that allowed?
I have no idea.
I'll say, is there anyone in here around the blankety blank city and would like to do a wedding around 3 to 5 hours and then hand over the SD cards I will provide at the end of the evening? You would be paid for your time at the wedding. I just can't take the photos myself. I will edit, call, provide SD cards, and you would be free to any RAWs you want for your portfolio. Please message me. My wedding is April 25th.
I would say in response to this,
I think that what the biggest thing is that he's trying to show is that right under there is a comment from someone that says, I'd love to. This is my Instagram. Check me out.
That's just my new response to everything I see in a Facebook group. Anytime somebody asks a question,
here's my Instagram.
Oh gosh, I feel like there's a reason why this wedding photographer doesn't already have a wedding photographer, and it's because they probably started out with this. And the wedding budget thing sounds to me kind of like, oh, I'm looking for an excuse so I can do this terrible thing that I would never do myself, but that I want to do because I want to edit my own photos. I feel like that's what it really comes down to, is they really just want to edit their own photos.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, in parentheses, my fiance blowing the budget on florals and me refusing to give up my open bar, our wedding budget has taken a major hit. Like, that's what I like to see. Kind of that part, I think, got edited out of the original post.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, we found a wedding videographer we really, really, really liked and just blew our whole budget on them. Nothing left for photos. Is that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, if nobody wants to do this, the wedding videographer did say they could pull JPEGs from the footage, export some stills. It's all good. But I would prefer to have RAWs, so.
I have told the story, right, where I was second shooting a wedding.
So many times.
Okay.
So many times.
Okay. I just can never get over that. It will always be with me. Mm-hmm. And I'm always paranoid, so I never even mention to couples that is a possibility, because I'm afraid of a couple not hiring a photographer because they're like, oh, wait, you can't just pull stills from the whole day?
Well, you know that Canon EOS R with the 8K that's coming out? Yeah. You could just pull some stills out of that, 8K.
But do you want to?
And the Canon EOS R that shoots 8K at 60 frames per second is the rumor? Yeah, you can just pull some stills right out of that, baby. Got it. You got it, bro. You don't need
to shoot a terabyte
anymore. But... Yeah, it's going to be all good. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Worth it.
God, I can't imagine how much storage that footage is going to take up. Unless it's like crazy compressed. Yeah, we shoot 8K, but it is the most shitty 8K you've ever seen.
As long as it's got that dynamic range, boy. Yeah, so Dustin, would you ever do this? Would you go shoot a wedding, just a wedding, and then hand over the SD cards with the RAWs at the end. Would you
Yeah,
raw dog?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Would I raw dog another photographer? 100%. 100.
100
Hands in the air. Hands in the air, I'd raw dog that photog. It's April. I'm not doing anything. It's maybe somebody I know, somebody I like. They're like, hey, bro, I don't have money.
Nah, dog, fellow photog. I wouldn't raw dog another photog.
I'm like, all right, $300 an hour, man. I come shoot your wedding.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I don't hand over at the wedding. Jen and I just shot. The makeup artist, as I'm doing photos of the makeup artist stuff, looks at me and says,
Slid an
"Hey,
SD card
can
into
I
your
take
camera."
a photo of? Can I take a photo of the back of your camera of a photo you took of me just now?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. Straight up said no, because I don't want that representation of my work out there. That unedited representation of my work.
And you're like,
And then-
hold on real quick. Let me put a LUT into my camera so I can edit.
No,
this
what I said
as
was,
shoot.
"Oh, you have an iPhone, right? Why don't you hand that over to me and I'll do some photos for you on there."
You've got portrait mode, right?
Yep, I
Great.
totally did that.
Can you just make sure you tag that Stephen Van Elk took these?
I was like, "You don't need to tag me. It's all good. Don't worry." You think I asked her to
Don't worry,
tag me?
this isn't an iPhone
these iPhone
11 Pro
photos?
Max.
No, I just knew I didn't dial in my Kelvins on the white balance, so I knew I was a little bit yellow, and I was going to correct that in post. But I was like, I don't want her to see that I'm a little yellow, and I don't want like people looking at it to see I'm a little bit yellow. Yeah, because it was tungsten light, and I dialed in for tungsten, but it was like in a room with like a little bit of mixed light, and then like I transitioned to the makeup artist room, which was like full blown tungsten.
So why didn't you just turn the lights off?
There's 0 windows in the makeup artist room.
Why didn't you bring your sledgehammer?
Because the room where the
California,
makeup
man.
artist was working was the side of a cliff, was like one wall, and then the other wall was just like the other rooms and closets and stuff. A sledgehammer wouldn't have done it. I would have had to knock down like a cliff or
Yeah.
several
Earn
walls.
your keep, Steve.
Oh man,
They
but
come to you for that natural light, man.
think about how rippity ripped I would have gotten working that sledgehammer. I would have come out of there been so buff, dude.
I just want to picture that parody video of you walking into a getting ready location without any natural light, and you just go
Shirt off, sledgehammer
About to-
over the shoulder, muscles rippling. I'm
about to get
greased up.
Van Elk in here.
I'm a Van Elk all over this place. Super greased.
You start pounding through the wall, only for someone to tell you that the daylight's that way.
Oh man, Andy from a random Facebook group says, "Why do people think wedding photographers need to have a flash?"
Oh, speaking of light. Why do they need to have a flash? Great question, Andy. So glad you asked this in a random Facebook group with the intent of us picking it up and airing it here on the Wedding Photo Hangover podcast.
Thanks so much, Andy.
Andy Boucher. Andy.
No, this is Andy, a videographer, of course.
Yeah. I will say, Andy, making the switch from Nikon to Sony, I have felt less reliant on flash because of the ability to push my ISO and with the ability to see what I'm shooting.
Dustin, I shot with a Sony when I was in California. I didn't tell you about that, did I?
What?
Yeah,
What?
I used Ulysses Sony.
Why?
Not at the wedding, just like shooting around with him at Joshua Tree and stuff. Just Ulysses wanted some dope pics of him and Maria, so I grabbed that Sony. And I
lens?
felt
What lens?
I felt like it's a Sigma 35mm f1.4 art.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
same lens. Jen and I have 2 of those for our Canons. Yeah, it's a good lens. I like that lens.
It's a great lens.
Yeah, a great lens.
Very heavy, but great lens.
Yeah. Is it heavy? Because I got an
Yeah.
85 1.2 that would say that 35 is lightweight, light as a feather.
Mm-hmm.
So I was shooting with that, man,
So
and I got to tell you,
were
it was
going on to
weird.
say how much you loved it.
Nah, it's weird, dude. Like you take a photo and then like you can't see anything because you don't have like a real viewfinder. It's like a video feed going up to your eye. So then like people are moving, but like it's trying to show you a picture and you're like, nah, I want to keep shooting, dude. I don't need to see that picture. I need to keep shooting. And it was super weird.
Turn that off.
But it wasn't my camera, so if I was a Sony Pony, I could figure out how to turn it off on my own. But
get up on that Sony Pony.
Yeah, since I'm not up on that Sony Pony, I don't know how to ride.
Yeah, I kept going back and forth as to whether or not I wanted to turn that feature off because it's only really annoying when you're shooting like toasts and
anything with movement. It's annoying. Like we were doing like a walking shot with Ulysses and Maria walking towards us. It is so annoying. And I mean, I guess I could have just banged some out. It's got that continuous AF, so I mean, it's not going to be out of focus. But then it's also kind of like, but now I'm banging it out. I don't know what my composition looks like anymore. You ever bang when you don't know what the composition looks like? How do you get the right composition?
Predictively compose.
No, I'm trying to get everybody into the right places when I'm banging. Everything has to fit. And if it doesn't fit, like, I got to have eyes on the situation to make sure.
But
it's like
did
a puzzle.
You enjoy being able to see exactly what the photo was going to look like as you were shooting it? Depth of field, focus, everything. Exposure,
really?
The whole 9 yards.
I didn't feel like it was that big of a deal, to be honest.
I felt like it's.
See, there's when you shoot with like, I don't know, a real camera brand like Canon, the 5D Mark IV, there's like this thing where you can see what your exposure is. And like you can turn on like a histogram and stuff if you want to be a baby about it, and like you can really, really get down into the deep end there.
But it's more than that. You're not only seeing exposure, you're seeing color. You're seeing like what the ambient light is doing, which is, to get back to Andy's question about flash, is the ability for me to see quickly using the live view function of the viewfinder what just bumping my ISO up would do with the color cast
on that little tiny screen. You bump the ISO up, you can't see that grain on that tiny little screen, bro.
Oh baby, I can.
No, bro, you can't see that grain.
No,
man. You're putting out these photos of grainy photos.
No,
it looks like you spilled a bowl of rice on your photos. That's how grainy they are.
Recently released from.
It looks like you chewing weed over those photos.
That Arizona wedding I just dropped, I was shooting.
It looks like you're using that camera to
5,000.
harvest corn. There's so much grain on those photos.
that doesn't even make sense.
Corn's a grain.
And corn are
Corn's
two different things.
Ah, dog. Corn's a grain.
Corn's a starch. It's not a grain.
It looks like you brewing beer with your oats and barley in those photos.
There you go. Now you're getting better. But I was shooting the entire receptions at like 5,000 ISO.
So?
I'm just saying that it had it not been for me seeing the live view and seeing what it looked like at 5,000 ISO, I would have gone to my native auto as far as how my brain works of like blasting like more flash so that I can keep more in that 2500 ISO range because that's sort of that Nikon safe place.
So ever since we switched to the 5D Mark IVs, it's like 3200 is like good ISO wise, basically. And 6400 is like, yeah, that's doable ISO wise. So like blasting up my ISO is nothing new for me, bro.
It's nothing new, but I still like to keep it, around that 25. Whereas with Sony, it's like, I can do whatever. I'm good.
But you could do that with a Nikon or a Canon or a Fuji. They're all mirrorless now, too.
Yeah, but Sony's better.
Sony Pony.
Get on the pony, baby.
Yeah. Nay.
Buy a token.
Josh Legrone from our very own Facebook group. Wait, did we answer Andy's question? Wedding photographers need to have a flash because sometimes it's dark, and also flash, you can create cool, interesting things, right?
Yeah, you're the one that uses it off camera.
I do,
trying to piss
all the
off
time.
all the videographers.
I don't give a shit about videographers, bro.
Whoa! Until you are the videographer.
You look at me. You look at me and you think I give a shit about videographers? Look at me,
No.
bro. I roll
No,
up.
I've shot
I roll up with a
alongside you.
Bluetooth
I
speaker
understand.
playing music
Shut up.
while those videographers are out there shooting. They're like, "Hey, we got our road mics, our road video mics on top of our Distlers, and we're trying to get that
Our
good audio."
Distlers.
And I'm like, "Yeah." And you're gonna have that good audio, but you're also gonna be listening to The Weeknd. You know what I'm saying?
New direction.
I mean, it is The Weeknd. You got to play The Weeknd, right?
Mm.
I don't know what this new direction is.
Really.
Is that like
No
some
music.
90s band?
Backstreet Boys.
98 Degrees?
Are you getting a fever?
In Sync?
Britney Spears? How long can we go? How long do you want to play this game?
I thought we were doing boy bands. I don't know. You changed the game.
No one specified rules.
Josh Legrone from our very own Facebook group says, something happened a couple weekends ago and I can't stop thinking about it. I would love to know if anyone has heard of anything like this. Long story short, the DJ tells the wedding planner that he won't be announcing the bridal party into the reception. He won't be announcing the dances or basically anything else that's going on throughout the day. The planner asked if I would be willing to announce them. For some reason, I thought it was because he was mute. So I said sure, because I shoot with my wife and she could still get all the shots of the bridal party entering. Wow, Josh, you should have checked with Meg before you just did this, man. And once I was done announcing the dances, I would just put the mic down and go shoot. But then I started thinking about it and remembered talking to the DJ earlier in the day. Seemed like a nice dude. He said that if we needed anything to let him know. So then it clicked. This guy wasn't mute. The funniest part to me is during the dancing, the DJ kept yelling random stuff into his mic and kept saying his name over and over as the songs were playing. He also played air horn sounds during Tennessee Whiskey, which was hilarious. I wanted to see if anyone in here has had to deal with something similar.
I've had maybe like 2 or 3 times this has happened, but only one of those times was a DJ. We did a really nice, or really what I would call a high-end wedding where they hired a DJ from Chicago to come down, and he's like a club DJ. So and he was very expensive. I think he cost more than what I cost. And they had to put him up in a hotel and everything. And he's like, yo, dog, because I went up to him when we got to the reception, introduced myself, did my whole bit.
He said dog?
Yeah, dog. This was a few years ago when dog was still a thing, before cat got popular. And then,
Wait, before cat got popular? Cat was popular when our parents were kids.
yo,
These cool cats came around the corner. They were all smoking a jazz cigarette.
they were all in black, riding that Sony Pony. But I went in, I introduced myself. I said, hey, couples here, man, they're all yours. If you want to line them up, get them ready for introductions. He's like, I don't do what are you talking about? I don't do any introductions. And I'm like, oh, you don't announce the couple or the bridal party into the venue? And he's like, dude, I'm a DJ. I play music.
Nice.
I'm like, okay.
That's somebody who knows his lane and he knows to stay in his lane. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Josh, I'm sorry, but this DJ, he knew what he was doing. He's out there on, spinning those records, playing those good beats, He's got the booties clapping on the dance floor, He's got the butt shaking, he's doing his work. He's doing his work and he knows what he's doing. And he's also saying his name. I'm guessing his name was probably DJ Legrone.
DJ Legrone.
Josh, was it you? Were you DJing?
DJ Don't Moan Legrone.
So his name was DJ Don't Moan. Which is counterintuitive. You'd usually think that you'd want people to moan, but whatever. He's very afraid of the zombie apocalypse. And, he's just out there and he's playing some good old songs. Bye Bye, Miss American Pie, DJ Don't Moan, just getting it in there, you got to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin, give me your
was
best
it?
DJ don't moan.
Somebody shared with me a video. I'm trying to remember who this was, but somebody shared with me a video about a DJ who was so good at hyping up the crowd and like timing things out with his set list that he could actually time out where he could go to the bathroom and he could, during certain parts of the songs, like say stuff on the mic, and he would record this on his Snapchat of like, you know, it would show the bathroom door and then like you could hear through the walls of the bathroom like the music going. And then you'd see the mic come up and he'd say something like, what? And then everyone out in the audience or the wedding party would be like, what? And then he'd be like in there just taking a dump. It was like the most funny thing I've seen. It's good DJing right there. It's quality execution of your time management skills.
I don't 100% know if this is real or not, but I feel like that's a story Ulysses
totally
told
real.
you.
Is
like
really?
That's a story Ulysses told you.
You might be right.
Yeah.
This is a story Ulysses told me. Damn
it. Cheating on me with Ulysses? Are you cheating on me with Ulysses?
No, the question is, how did you know that this was a story Ulysses told me?
Because I listened to our episodes.
Oh, see, I don't.
And his episodes. You've never listened to an episode of his podcast that you weren't on, have you?
I thought it was just that was the only one.
he just made that one
hit wonder.
You know, Josh, I would say this is something that maybe we should be doing as photographers, you know? I'm a photographer. I don't want to, I don't know, make an itinerary for the entire day and a schedule to keep, you know, everybody on time. That should be the wedding coordinator or planner's job. So when the bride and groom ask me to do that good work for them, I just say no and I pass the buck on to the wedding planner or coordinator. You know, Dustin, what parts of your job would you like to just pass off to somebody else?
Taking the pictures, probably. If I could,
I'm a photographer.
I don't photos and they would just happen.
You could just think the photos and then they happen, and you don't even have to show up to the wedding. You've thought them all from home.
Yeah, exactly. Like immaculate conception of wedding photos.
Wow, first you're bringing up politics, now you're bringing up religion. Jeez, all the big podcasts and no-nos here tonight.
Probably being a bad cop. Being a bad cop on a wedding day is like never fun.
It's like call a real cop in to do this job, you know?
It's just like, as a Midwestern photographer, I don't know if this is everywhere, but we tend to get these larger bridal parties, and they're always these late 20s type wedding parties of guys who, for all intents and purposes, seem like they've never drank or they've never had a good time where they were allowed to drink. And they decided this is their moment. This is their moment to shine on the day their best friend is chosen
and by shine,
to commit his
you mean
life
dull,
to another.
Because they're going to get so drunk that they can barely stand. And then they're like that guy who's up there and everybody's like, is he going to puke during the middle of the ceremony?
100%.
Where the DJ goes to announce like the couples coming in, and it's a DJ who actually does that on like Josh LeGrone's DJ Experience Encounter.
DJ No Moan.
And he announces one of the groomsmen and like a bridesmaid, and the bridesmaid just walks out alone because that groomsman is passed out somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Has that happened to you before?
Yeah, 100%. We've actually had a bridesmaid who did it. Threw up all over the table, or almost did. Somebody thankfully like caught her as she was getting ready to, and they like scooped the chair cover up around her, and she threw up into the chair cover. And then when she was tied
done,
it off.
They tied it off. I thought you were going to say, and then when she was done, they just dumped it back over her and pushed her out. It was a real Carrie situation. Just instead of blood and animal blood, it was puke, and it was from her own body.
And I have photos of her because the bride asked me to get photos of her for blackmail purposes. And coincidentally, we got to photograph that same sister's wedding this past year. And the whole time I kept teasing our past bride who was in the wedding. So is this like going to be revenge? Like, are you going to get like blackout drunk and throw up
Dustin,
all over?
Come on. You gotta let sleeping dogs lie, man. You can't bring that up.
Pregnant. we're all going to think you're pregnant if you don't.
Wow. Oh, gosh, you probably did say that. Oh, my gosh.
I like how you say it like that. Like, a normal person wouldn't say that.
Gosh, a normal person would not say that.
But you aren't a normal person, Dustin.
Normal people know that, like, it's rude and impolite to, like, say to somebody that, oh, you're probably not drinking because you're pregnant. Like, that's not, workplace appropriate. And as a photographer, you're in the workplace when you're shooting a wedding. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I'm just up on my Sony Pony.
Technically you're in the workplace right now on this podcast, and you still said it here too. Phantom producer Louis Novak slid into my DMs. Oh, hey Louis, how you doing? So this bride wanted me to recreate a Pinterest photo, Louis says. I didn't want to, but ended up doing it. My mistake. I wasn't happy with it, so didn't include it in the gallery. Hats off to Louis. Hats off. Right now, take a second, take your hat off. Your Patagonia hat over there. Yeah, take that off. Hats off to Louis. My man, Louis Novak. Louis delivered way better photos in his opinion. But now, that bride, she's hung up on this damn shot he didn't include from Pinterest.
Oh, Louis.
She's not happy. And he's not happy. He's not happy with it, but should he just give it to them anyways? Stand your ground, yes. Louis. No, Louis, stand your ground. You didn't give it to him for a reason. If you back down now, everybody's going to think you're a chump, Louis. Then everybody's going to be pushing you for those Pinterest photos in the future. You want to be Mr. Pinterest going forward? Is that what you want to be?
Mr.
You want to change the name of your photography company from Louis Novak's Very Good Photo Company to Pinterest Photo Company.
Better than Union Chapel. Kind of rolls off the tongue. Pinterest Chapel Photography.
Pinterest Costal.
Pinterest
Photography. Yeah. We can get it.
I'm sure there's no copyright.
Pinterest-Baterian. I grew up in the church. We can do this all day, baby.
All day.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Louis, I would, if they wanted that shot, I would Photoshop it, make it, shine that gem up, shine that poop up to look like a gem.
I believe the term is polish that turd.
Yeah, but in Ohio they call them poops.
Really?
It's a regional term.
Oh, a regional term. A regional term for a turd is poops in Ohio. What other regional terms can you inform us of about Ohio? Come on, Dustin. What do they call a pea?
Call it a whiz.
Good. That's very nice. Oh, gosh.
Where the term real whiz dinger came from.
Wow. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, man. Louis.
This brought to you by Dayquil.
Louis, don't do it. Don't do it. If you do it, you're going to do it for every bride going forward.
You don't have to tell him, Louis. You don't have to tell him that you did it. Like Steve makes
Louis,
it seem like you somehow get stamped. Like there's a forehead stamp that if you do this, that gets sent to you in the mail. And
I got an idea. From the IRS. No, I solved the problem, Louis. I solved the problem. You shot the photo. You came home. You were so excited to edit that photo because you knew it was so important to them, and you wanted to do a good job for your clients.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm waiting for the but. There it is. There it is.
Then, unfortunately, after you got home, you got abducted by aliens, and they took all the photos off your SD cards. And by all, I mean just that one. They took just that one. They left the rest, but they took
because
that
it was
one.
So good.
Because it was so important to their culture and their understanding of our culture. They're studying the Pinterest photography world, and they were like, "This one humans can't have. We need to study this one in greater detail." And you just tell that to your bride and groom. Wait, Time out. You just tell that to your bride, and now you're good. Now you're good because she's going to know that while she can't have the photo personally, the photo is out there somewhere in the universe, and people are appreciating that photo. And then when you're done with that, and she's completely and totally bought into that proficiently profound lie, you take that SD card and you just burn it because it's not even worth putting new photos on that one. You can't format the Pinterest off your SD card.
So
burn your camera too.
Edit it, give it to the bride.
Burn your camera too, because you can't get the Pinterest out of there either. And while you're at it, maybe get a lobotomy, because I don't think you can get the Pinterest out of your brain anymore, Louie. Louie, it's over. It's over, buddy. I'm sorry, Louie. I hate to be the one to inform you of all this.
Louie's listening to this, and he's thinking, why did I slide into Steve's DMs for this? What was I thinking doing that?
Oh, gosh. You want me to say what I really said to Louie? I said, deliver the photo, never show it anywhere or to anyone else, and move on with life. You'll be happier for this going forward. But that's not a fun response, bud. I want you to get into this sandbox with me and build a castle. We're castling over here. We're kings. Oh, I'm a king. You're a prince.
Pony all around.
You're a prince, Dustin. Think about that, huh?
If any couple, or any photographer listening to this has a picture.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Wedding Photo Hangover podcast. If you love the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if you want to connect. We're at Wedding Photo Hangover on Instagram. Dustin, my man, is at Dustin_McKibben, and I'm at Stephen Van Elk. We have an awesome Facebook group. You should join it. Just search for Wedding Hangover on your Facebooks. If you want more content, head over to the Patreon by going to patreon.com/WPH. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time your head is pounding, your limbs feel like dead weight, and your entire being aches for the sweet embrace of death. That's right, next week after you shoot another wedding.
Dun, dun, dun.
D-Mac Attack, it's been a long time. What have you been up to? What have you gotten yourself into? What have you gotten those sticky little paws in? What kind of honey? What kind of bee juice you getting at?
I finally opened this. I was going to save this for next week's episode.
If this is a beer and you've been on NyQuil this whole time, I'm going to be so mad.
No, this little guy.
The Loop Deck? Did a listener give that to you? And it's just been sitting in your house for like a year?
This is the brand new Loop Deck.
Oh, you got a new one?
I just finally plugged this in. I've had it for like 2 months. And
you've been loop decking?
Yeah.
You've been looping?
I'm like really notorious for buying gear and then not using it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the barrier to learn new gear.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems really cool. I'm hoping I didn't have that many shoots this week. So I didn't really feel that I could play with it like I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's sad.
But I'm thinking it'll make Lightroom editing a lot more fun.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
How about you? What have you been up to, Steven? I know you've been jet lagging from California time.
I had to buy one of those compact light stands and have it delivered to Ulysses' house for the wedding because we only had one compact light stand that would fit in our luggage, so had to get another one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a kind of cool world to dip my foot in for a second. And then, you get to the wedding and you set it up and you're like, oh man, like when we shoot weddings, we use like 12-foot tall, light stands. And those compact light stands are only like 6 foot tall. And it's like, that's just not tall enough for what we do. So it was,
so it broke out the power drill and he just mounted the flashes to the wall.
To the band speakers, actually. I drilled straight into them. I was like, don't worry, I'm going to miss the cone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was great. I took one of those like little shoe things you can put on the bottom of a flash so it just like stands up, Put that on one of the flashes while we were shooting the wedding so I could set it up on like a table or something, And it almost immediately felt like, oh, that clicked in real hard. That didn't feel right. It was stuck. It's beautiful. It's a great time. I got it off, but there was like a moment of panic there. I got it off and the flash still worked after I got it off, so.
I've been there where I get a
where you get off
young Nuo transmitter.
Tell everybody how you get off
of a flash. I use young Nuo, and I do this kind of jerky motion back and forth with a little bit of a swivel until it loosens at just the right angle.
Gosh, what did I do? What did I do? Dustin, have you been watching anything new? You been reading any books? You've been consuming any music?
Oh, I finally succumbed to your wife's recommendation. Succumbed?
Nope, succumb was the right word. I was just saying dumb stuff. Don't worry about it.
The Good Place.
Ooh, you like it?
I did, and then it like most shows, it really gets a little too far for me, where it doesn't feel quite so funny anymore.
Yeah.
But I have not. Hulu doesn't have season 4, so I'm like waiting. Or Netflix, wherever I was watching it, doesn't have season 4.
I think it's on Netflix, and then like season 4 is on Hulu.
They only have the most recent 3 episodes, though, so I can't start at the beginning of season 4 on Hulu. That's what it was.
Yeah, unless you buy Hulu, then you could watch it all.
I have Hulu. I own Hulu.
Then I don't understand what the problem is. You should be able to watch this show.
Nope. You can NBC, for whatever reason, the rights or issues they have, you can only watch the most recent 3 episodes, and the same goes for NBC.com unless you have like a cable provider, which I do.
And it's
for
Comcast,
whatever reason,
and Comcast owns NBC.
Which I thought was owned NBC, does not work. I tried.
Sad, man. Sad.
Yeah. Do you watch The Good Place, or was that just a Jen show?
I have not started into it yet. I watched the first episode and I liked it, but then I got sidetracked with other stuff. Not important, what I got sidetracked with. I was like,
no.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got real into Schitt's Creek. So good. I watched like all of it on the plane rides to and from California. It's gonna work on podcast stuff, but we had to move.
I know you were. We were gonna have an episode.
We had to move everything out of our bag, our carry-on luggage, into our personal bag, And when I did that, I accidentally moved the headphones that have a cord that can plug into my Mac into the carry-on luggage, which was then checked luggage, so that I could fit cameras and lenses in my personal item. So it was a great time on the way out there. Super, super stressful for a few minutes while I was moving everything. But everything made it, and it was all good. So I guess we could have just left the cameras in the carry-ons.
You should have.
Oh, gosh, no. Never trust that.
You guys traveling any more this year, or is this kind of it?
I mean, personal travels, yeah.
For work.
Oh, for work? I don't know.
I don't know what personal travel is. I don't know what that means.
I don't know if we're doing any more work travel this year. It's still early in the year, so who knows?
I have a lot. This is going to be a super travel heavy year for me.
Dustin, can we talk about one thing though that I've been dying to discuss with you ever since Imaging?
I'm nervous.
We went to a karaoke bar.
No, we didn't. I don't recall this.
You chose at the karaoke bar to sing a song and to put my name down, so I had to sing the song with you.
Should this be saved for the Imaging episode?
No.
If that episode should ever see the light of day?
No. So
that our listeners can each get a free canvas from CG Pro Prints?
Stop, Dustin. What was the song that you chose for us to sing?
I don't know so much that I chose it as that fate chose it.
It wasn't fate. It
felt like divine
fate
intervention.
Doesn't choose songs.
Came
I don't
down
know.
From the Amish paradise, and they were like,
"Oh, from the Amish paradise." Was it White and Nerdy?
Lives? Isn't that where fate lives? He sits there, he eats his spam in a can, and he, deals out fate.
I don't know. I mean,
I mean, we're just living that polka life,
Yeah.
baby.
So, Dustin, what I want to know is if you could pick any karaoke song to sing in the entire world, what would it be?
Probably none, because I am really bad at memorizing lyrics from songs because I don't listen to music.
The words are up there on the screen. You can read them off.
You still got to know the rhythmic manner in which they're sang.
You have songs that you've sang that you know the rhythmic manner.
I don't.
Doesn't
Steve, that's
transport us back. You have to go up on the stage to sing a song, just you. I'm not up there with you this time.
Yeah,
what song is it?
that
Go.
wouldn't happen.
What's your favorite song? Pick a song. Any song.
Probably anything from Linkin Park.
Is that your final answer?
Probably be the only thing I'd have memorized because that's the last CD I've ever bought from back in middle school.
Wow. Man, I forget how much younger you are than me. Like you were like, that's the last CD I bought in middle school, and I'm like, I was in college and still buying CDs.
Well, see, you got to remember, I went buying CDs, and then Napster became a thing.
Oh,
and
fair point. I was in college and burning CDs. That is
exactly, exactly. So I played a lot of Tony Hawk growing up, and on the Xbox, you could dub over your CDs over the levels in Tony Hawk, and I only had one CD, and that was Linkin Park, and so I would hear that over and over and over again while I was playing, and so that's the only songs that I have like ingrained in my mind.
How much time do you spend on Tony Hawk?
Oh, so much time. I had every version of Tony Hawk ever.
Nice.
Well, maybe
Nice.
not ever. I'm sure there's more new versions, but like I think Tony Hawk 4.
Yeah.
They're like the last one before I stopped playing video games. Yeah.
I had Tony Hawk on my PC, not even like on a gaming console.
Why?
I did because my brother had it. Pretty certain it was illegal. I didn't ask any questions.
Yeah.
I just played it.
I'm just like one of those like oddly sentimental guys because it was like one of the first games I had on N64 when
It's a good
N64 was a thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I have to just keep buying this because it's such a good classic game that they didn't ever really change.
Yeah. Best games don't need to change. I mean, you can still get a lot out of
the
playing
funny
Super
thing
Mario.
I never even really liked skateboarding, or I never skateboarded. I never like was into skate culture. But I really like Tony Hawk.
You didn't have like a board and some Jinkos when you were a kid? Maybe? No?
Nope.
Nothing? Okay, wow. Oh, that's
I
weird.
did like one kickflip once on a buddy's board and like almost broke my nose. And I'm like, this face right here, this is what's going to get me through my life. So I can't break
How
this.
incredibly wrong you were.
Who knew it was going to be my voice? Who knew it was going to be my voice?
Oh, wow. Well, I love it. Linkin Park. Which song? You got to pick a song.
Oh, wow.
Narrow it down.
know.
Let's do it.
Probably In the End.
Nice.
Did you listen to Linkin Park?
Give us a few lines.
No. I barely have a voice.
After
I
all,
have a big...
in the end, it doesn't even... Am I getting the words right? Am I a word in it?
You're actually...
Are those
you're
words?
pretty close. So what would you sing, Steven, if you were to go up and do karaoke? A good Beatles ballad?
No.
Little John McCartney?
You know, I thought about this, and if I had to sing something, because I'm not particularly fond of my inability to sing well, I think I'd sing a song by Phantom Planet, if they had it. Highly doubt they would. Off their Negatives, Negatives 2, the album released those like all B-sides, Negatives 1 and Negatives 2, and it's called The Snake, and it's 19 seconds long. And the whole song just goes, this one's called The Snake, and it's short. Eve, don't go with Adam. Go with me. In and out.
That's it.
Done. But I mean, given the karaoke bar we were at and how much cigarette smoke there was there, I'd probably go with a different song by Phantom Planet called The Guest. Because like the chorus of The Guest is, would you please put out that cigarette? I'm the guest and I'm getting sick of it. And I would love to have just sang that over and over again to the people in that bar. That would have been great. Plus, if I sing The Snake, like it kind of makes me sound like I'm trying to convince somebody to like, you know, leave their spouse for me. And like, I don't know if I can deal with the connotations of like being Satan, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because we were sharing a room, and I mean, it could have been weird.
Yeah. For you.
Or you.
Yeah. So that was it, man. That was it. That's all I wanted to know about our good time at Imaging. I did realize when we left Imaging that on the drive there and on the drive home, we literally talked almost the entire time. And you didn't do the thing to me on either one of the drives where like you just call somebody on the phone and talk for like an hour and then I'm held hostage next to you. It was a good time. I didn't realize we had the ability to talk to each other for 5 hours straight anymore. I thought, you know, we blew all of our talking to each other time on this podcast. And if we were stuck in a car with each other.
You blow all our talking time together on this podcast. Anytime I try to talk to you, like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold that. Save that for the podcast, Dustin.
I'm trying to make a show here.
And then I retreat quietly back into my corner and await my call.
Await your call.
Do you do the same thing with your wife when she tries to talk to you about something? You're like, whoa, 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 Jen, is this wedded material? Is this wedded material?
Oh, all the time.
Let me get the mics out.
And Jen's like, this is not wedded material. I'm going to murder you if you say that again. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, no, it's all good.
So it definitely is. I'm glad we're on the same page. This anger, this animosity, Jen, listeners love this. Eat this up. Mm-hmm. It's ranking really well in Wyoming.
In Wyoming?
Yeah, don't you guys have a test group in Wyoming?
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for us here tonight on the Wedding Photo Hangover podcast. Thank you so much for talking with me, Dustin.
Always, Steven.
Have a great night.
Have a good weekend, Steve.
I'm ready for the freaking weekend, baby.
Get on your Sony Pony.
Wedding Photo Hangover was edited this week by Steve Van Elk of Bespoke Tone. Go to Bespoke Tone for all of your photo, video, and audio editing needs. Woo-wee!